What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. We got a bonus episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. So, let's go on and talk about it, right? We got season 5, episode 2. So, we start this episode off with this really awkward scene with Karen and her trainer making all these oohs, ahs, giving us like this whole innuendo that Karen was getting some D, and she really working out with her trainer, and Ray is upstairs playing on his phone. He probably making deals, but you know what I'm saying. And then they have this conversation where Karen is reminding him that he doesn't say I love you to her, and she's like, I can make you breakfast even though you won't say those 3 words. He was like, all right. She was like, so, do you know what those 3 words are? He was like, okay. Like, it was just weird. And she was saying how it's really an issue, the fact that he won't say he loves her. It's a lot. Again, I ain't figured out yet. I really haven't figured out yet whether this is storyline or this is real, because Karen just is never this open about her relationship, but it may be real and she just really needs to talk to somebody. I don't know. But that is the downfall of having a marriage with such a large age difference. Like, at a certain point, y'all are just in 2 different places. But yeah, so we had that. So then we had Monique and Giselle get together, honey, and they bury the hatchet. And not only do they bury the hatchet, they decide that they're going to have a dinner for Ashley because they're worried about Ashley having some postpartum, and the fact that she is legit scared to come out of the house. She is scared to come out of the house, and they're trying to get her out the house and just get her out of that funk. Like, they've all been mothers, they understand what that's like. Monique says how her and Candace have moved forward in their friendship. They made up after the reunion, but she says she's starting to feel like it might be a little one-sided. That she feels like she's doing all the extending, and Candace is just sort of kind of going along to get along. Because they were trying to decide whether they were going to invite. They were talking about inviting Candace so that Candace and Ashley can bury the hatchet, because they feel like that Candace owes Ashley some apologies. And so Monique was just talking about how, we started off kind of really good, but then I'm starting to notice a few things. And she was like, I'm just not trying to do that again with her. Like, I'm not trying to go down that road again where it's all one-sided. Then the whole thing about Charisse came up. Well, come to find out, child, that Candace knows that Monique has issues with Charisse. Yet, she invited Charisse to the party because they were like, I think Monique was under the impression that maybe Candace was a +1 or something to that effect. Giselle was like, nah, Charisse was invited to the party. Like, it wasn't a +1. Like, she got a full-on invitation. And it seems like Candace and Charisse have been sort of hanging out. And Monique was like, see, I kind of have a problem with that because you, as my friend, my issues with Charisse. You know how that. So the fact that you would invite her, 1, is an issue. And then 2, the fact that you invited her and didn't even give me a heads up so I could make a decision about whether I wanted to come or not. So then the producers asked Monique, well, what are the rumors? What are the issues? What are the rumors you're having? And Monique was like, I don't really want to get into that because the rumors were just so vile that I don't even want to, give them any light. Well, messy ass Giselle told us what the rumors were, honey. Now, the rumors are that Monique and her trainer was getting a little too close for comfort. And they were seen out and about running around town together. And Chris found out and he wasn't happy about it. Now, I sort of remember this exact same rumor about 3 seasons ago with Karen and her mysterious boyfriend that she was running around Potomac with. We never did find him, did we? Did we find this? Did we find him? Do we know who he was? I don't know. But that's the issue that Monique has, because Monique's like, those are lies, but those are lies that potentially could have caused a lot of problems with my marriage and led to, it could have, worst case scenario, Chris believed it and it could have been a divorce situation. And so her thing was, this is somebody who has attacked my family. I don't rock with her. And you as my friend, like I got my eye on you. Like I'm kind of keeping my eye on you. Then we see Ashley meet with her lactate specialist. She said that when she first had the baby, breastfeeding was so hard that she almost gave up on it. Now I'm gonna say this, and I have a friend who's a lactate specialist, and I've had friends who've had babies and have had a hard time breastfeeding. I've had some who were able to see a lactate specialist and it worked. I've had some who it just didn't work. Their body just couldn't do it. I've had some. I mean, I've had friends that have gone the whole gambit. And this is something I need people to understand, men particularly, but I need people to understand. And Wendy says this later on in the episode, how things in the movies just seem like a woman gets pregnant. She has this wonderful pregnancy for 9 months. She has a great baby shower. She does all these wonderful things. Her water breaks. She has a baby. Life is great. Life is good. The baby automatically latches on and has the breast milk and everything is wonderful. And the reality is it's not that easy. And even women with the best of intentions who want to breastfeed. I remember a few years ago, this issue, it came up with Gwyneth Paltrow and even Giselle Bundchen, the boy from the Patriots' wife, Tom Brady, making some very callous and flippant comments about women and breastfeeding and what women should and shouldn't be doing as far as breastfeeding is concerned. And I just, I like this scene because it showed that Ashley, who wants to be holistic and probably read every book and went to every class and stuff, still had issues and had to seek out extra help. And I know I went out on a tangent, y'all, but I just need people to really understand it. It just ain't that damn easy. And so I appreciate Ashley showing us. This whole moment, because then her mom comes in and she gets to talking about how she doesn't want to leave the house and she doesn't want to leave him alone. And her mother's saying, listen, I got this. You go out, have a good time, walk around the block, get out this house. I mean, because what we find out is that the baby is 3 months old and Ashley has barely left the house. And she says she gets anxiety at the thought of leaving the house. And that is clearly some signs of postpartum and some issues. So I appreciate Ashley sharing all of this and being very honest and raw about it. I think a lot of times, and women do it as well, they want us to think they got it all figured out, and anyway. I don't went on my tangent enough. Okay, child. Then we see Candace and Wendy meet up for lunch. Come to find out, Candace has known Wendy. They met at a charity event or something to the effect. They became fast friends. Miss Wendy, as we found out, is a PhD. She is a tenured professor at Johns Hopkins. She is from Nigeria. And she's even been a political commentator, which I've probably seen her before because, child, y'all know I'm addicted to the political shows. So I've probably seen her before, just didn't make no connection, child, whatever. And she just had a baby as well, but she on baby number 3. You know, after that first baby child, you just be dropping them off and keeping them moving, child. But Candace talked about how her and Michael are not ready yet. And again, y'all know I try to be fair. Even though Candace be getting on my nerves, I appreciate her in this moment saying, listen, because my mama did such a tough job of raising me, my fear is that I wouldn't do a good job raising a child. And I don't know if I'm ready to bring a child into that. And I need to finish doing my work. I need to finish going to therapy. I need to finish processing some things before I feel comfortable bringing a child into this world. However, I also don't want to wait too long because I don't want to be 40 years old with 2 eggs left. And that is a line you walk, you know. So, you know, and Wendy told her, she said, listen, don't feel pressured to have a baby before you're ready, and don't have a baby for anybody else but you, but don't take too long either, you know. And so it was a good conversation. It was more or less to just introduce Miss Wendy to us and let us meet her and all of that. We know that. And she said, you know, Karen is shady because Karen know good and damn well that we done met. She said, I met Karen about 2 years ago. But she'll be quick to be like, every time she sees me, say, oh, it's nice to meet you. No good and damn well we done met 20 times before. And it's funny because I noticed Karen did that at the anniversary party. She made it seem like she was just being introduced to Wendy, but then in her confessional was like, yeah, I know Wendy. I'm not impressed. Now, I don't know where this whole situation is going to go between Wendy and Miss Karen, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think there is something there. I don't, because just some stuff was on Twitter where Giselle said she felt like Karen is intimidated by Wendy. I don't think that's it. I really don't. I don't think that's it. I think it's more to the story. I think it's some more to the story. I don't know whether we're going to get it or if it's going to be just some off-camera shit, but I think it's more to the story. Then we have Karen and Candace going out to lunch. And this was just a scene so that we could see Candace get the invitation to Ashley's dinner. And them thinking that hell has truly frozen over because Monique and Giselle are throwing this party together, honey. So hell has frozen over. But I like it. I hope it can maintain somewhat throughout the season. Even though Monique being shady as hell in her confessionals, honey, talking about, she said, I've always said that Giselle is easier to get along with when she getting some D on a regular basis. She's talking about some, now she getting some anointed D. And then last night, I ain't say this part, but last night when they asked, they were asking people how they felt about Giselle and Jamal getting back together, and she talking about some, Karen just wants, she talking about some, Giselle just wants some more of them tithes and offerings. Now, quiet as it's kept, I said that too privately to some friends. Now, Candace said the same thing that Monique said about how it's easy to get along with Giselle when she gets some D on a regular basis. Giselle, damn, girl. The fact that everybody feel like that, damn, girl. Anyway, Ashley and Monique. Monique calls Ashley to make sure she's going to come to dinner. Like, girl, don't be backing out on us. I know you ain't really ready to leave, baby Dean, but we really put this little thing together for you, and we really want you to come. Oh, and by the way, I invited Wendy, who you don't know at all, and Candace, who you don't really fuck with. But come, girl. Come, girl. Come on out the house. Yeah. But they talked about, but Monique did say that she thinks that she said, you know, me and Candace were able to move forward, and so hopefully I want the same for you and Candace. I know that some apologies need to be given, and maybe we can do it at that time. Now, as soon as that was said, what immediately struck me was, you can't make somebody apologize. If Candace felt like she owed Ashley an apology, she got Ashley's phone number, her Twitter, her IG. She could DM her. She can go through production. Hell, she probably know how to get to her house. And I feel like if you're going to invite Candace, just invite Candace and let the conversation be what it's going to be. But as soon as Monique said that, I was like, okay, we already in for a shit show. I already feel it. I see it. I know it. Now, Juan asked Giselle out for lunch. And let me tell you what I appreciate about this moment. Before anything was said, the first thing out of Giselle's mouth was, does Robin know we here? Because I feel some kind of way about meeting up with you to discuss Robin, and Robin ain't here. But Juan let her know, listen, I invited you because it's time for me and Robin to go on and jump that broom, do it like, you know, do it again, you know, and I want your help. And, you know, Giselle was like, well, did you get a ring and everything? You know, of course she was happy and all of that. She said, well, did you get a ring yet? And he was like, well, no, that's kind of, you know, I want you to help me with that. And she said, well, you know, the first time around, you got her a big old ring. He was like, yeah. She said, double it. He was like, the look on his face was like, you know we on a budget? What you talking about? Double a ring. I was making NBA money when I bought that ring, girl. But his point was valid. He said, listen, I don't have no problem doing that. But that ain't really Robin's style. And you know what? It's not. Like, maybe that's who Robin made. Maybe Robin was that person once upon a time. I still don't think she was. But that's not Robin. Like, Robin ain't walking around with this on her finger. Like, that's just not who she is. But Giselle did come up with a good idea. She said, well, how long have you known Robin? And he said 22 years. She said, then you should get a ring and put 22 stones around the diamond. Now that I think was and he, Ron said, see, that's what I'm talking about. I thought that was a brilliant idea. I thought, listen, I like that idea a lot. A lot. I like that idea. Okay, sorry, y'all. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to do my lighting. Anyway, she said, but if a man by the name of Jamal Bryant come along and ask you about getting me a ring, tell him you want to double the one you got me the last time. Double my pleasure. Okay? Okay. Then they got to talking about Jamal and the kids and the girls and all of that. Child, poor Giselle. She is in denial. She is in denial. The river in Africa. She is in denial. She thinks that the girls are just being protective of her. No, the girls don't fuck with their daddy. Period. They ain't feeling him. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all know the lighting is giving me issues, but they not feeling it. They not feeling him. And no, it's child. But go ahead, Giselle, live in your fantasy world. Keep thinking that's what it's about, child, because that ain't what it's about. But whatever. And she said, well, he knows he better not screw up. That'll be the end of it. And Juan brought up a good point. Juan brought up a valid point. He said, Jamal better not mess up. He is sacrificing his relationship with those girls. And that's valid. That's valid. If he fucks this up and he really dogs Giselle out, yeah. That could be detrimental to his relationship with those girls. Anyway, Chris and Candace have a moment. She wasn't feeling well. She peed on a stick. And she said for a moment, when she thought she could possibly be pregnant, she said for a moment she felt like she was okay with it. And so now she's thinking that maybe she is ready to have a baby. She is ready to take that move. And she asked Chris about it. He was like, listen, I already told you I'm ready to have a baby. So whatever works for you is what works for me. He said, but I'm going to be honest with you. I knew you wasn't pregnant because we ain't having sex. She was like, what? She said, well, he said, listen. She said, well, you always want to have sex in the morning. He said, yeah, because at night, by the time you get in bed, I'll be sleepy. Like, you got to take off your makeup, take off your lashes, wrap your hair up, put your bonnet on. You got to do your beauty regimen. By the time you get in the bed, I am asleep. So, yeah, I wake up in the morning trying to give me a little piece. So, yeah, y'all need to get that together. That's that after the first year, it wears off kind of moment. That's what that is, child. And then, of course, he brought up the fact that she kind of said some things at the reunion about their sex life not being that exciting, which I'm sure hurt his ego. He was like, what? So, child. I don't know, Chris, but you might need to pull out some tricks. I don't know. All right, so now we're at the main event, Ashley's party. Everybody is there. And before the ladies get there, you have Monique and you have Giselle, setting up the table. They got a little gift basket for her. And child, if they don't start making these jokes about Candace and utensils, they done took up all the butter knives. They said something last week about the butter knives. I said, damn, you ain't gonna... I don't think this light is working. Is it what? Child, I don't know. Anyway. But I said, child, you ain't gonna never live down the fact that you was gonna stab her with that butter knife. Child, you ain't gonna live it down. And I'm sure that's something Candace probably tweeting about that shit right now. Anyway. But what we find out, and here go Giselle being messy, but this was some good messy, okay? She tells Monique, she said, listen, I talked to Ashley, and we know Ashley good for some mess too, child. And from Ashley's understanding, when Monique and Candace fell out, Candace went out of her way to befriend Sharice, knowing that Sharice and Monique don't rock. And now that Candace and Monique have sort of made up, she still has this budding friendship with Sharice, and that's how Sharice ended up at the anniversary party. Monique was like, see, I feel some kind of way about that. Because now I feel like you plotting behind my back with my enemy. Like, I don't rock with her, and you know why I don't rock with her. And now I got to look at you sideways. Now I'm giving you the side eye. I said, oh shit. And you know how Monique is, child. You know how Monique is. So a couple of things that came up at dinner actually did show up, and everybody was happy to see her, and we were glad to get her out the house. And she said that she had some anxiety, but she did come, so I can appreciate that. I'm glad she did show up. Sharice's name did come up. Monique brought up, I think Monique threw it out there just to see kind of how Candace would react. And Candace ass gonna say, I mean, I didn't know that y'all beef was that bad. First of all, you knew we had beef, period. You wasn't friends with this woman before me and you fell out. So I do have to kind of side eye and be like, so when and how did y'all become cool? Second of all, you did know that the beef was that bad because I've confided in you and I done told you. And like Monique said, everybody at this table know because you should have seen the looks. When Candace said that, the looks at the table told me that everybody knew that was a damn lie. And Monique was like, see, that's the shit I can't do. I can't do the fake. I can't do the lying because now I really am side-eyeing you. And honestly, I'm with Monique on that one 120%. I got to give you the side eye on that. I really have to give you a look like, really? Really, bitch? So I don't know, Candace. You on that bullshit. Then we had like a conversation, you know, they were talking about first time mothers because Wendy was there, and you know, Wendy's baby is like 2 weeks older than Dean. But of course that's her third baby and Ashley's first. So they were talking about the difference between first time mothers and, you know, second, third time mothers. You know, they were having that. And it was a good conversation. They were having a really good banter. Ashley once again was sharing too much. She tore her anus and had to have surgery. One, I didn't need to know. Two, I don't. How does that happen? How does that happen? Anyway, I don't think I want to know how that happens. She said how it happened, but I'm just saying. Then we get to the apologies. Y'all knows that Candace irks my nerves. But on this one, I'm with Candace. Giselle brought up the fact that, listen, it's a new day. It's a new season. She didn't say that, but those are, you know. Let's bury the hatchet. Can you and Ashley find a way to clear the air? And then they was telling Candace, and you owe Ashley an apology. You owe Ashley an apology. You owe Ashley an apology. Candace's response was, I agree that some conversations need to be had, but I don't think that this is the time or the place. And Ashley, I would like to talk to you about finding some time that me and you can sit down and talk privately about our issues. That should have been enough. I'm fine with what Candace said, and I'm okay with the fact that Candace said, listen, this ain't the time or the place. We are here to celebrate Ashley. Everybody's having a good time. I don't want to create this moment right now. Let me and her have a private conversation. Now, I get it that it's a show. So, of course, they're going to now try to force Candace into apologizing to Ashley. And Karen's thing was, I done been here before. I done been teamed up and gangbanged by this group before, and it's not a fun seat to sit in. So I feel where Candace is coming from right now. And y'all know now, you know, Candace give as good as she get. Candace was like, y'all can go to hell, kiss my ass, and leave me the fuck alone. And she told him, she was like, I'm not doing this right here. Like, I'm not doing this right here where she got her whole amen section backing her up. Me and her can talk privately and we'll say what needs to be said. And I agree. Like, you can't make that woman apologize. And if she don't want to apologize to Ashley, I mean, I think she owes Ashley an apology. But damn it, if she don't want to apologize to Ashley, she ain't got to. I mean, it just that moment, like I said, and again, y'all know I don't even be rocking with Ashley like that. I mean, with Candace like that. But on that one, hell, I don't even be rocking with Ashley like that, for real. Yeah, I know Ashley get on my nerves sometimes too. So anyway, in that moment, I was just like, child. But neither here nor there. That's where the episode ended. So we'll see next week where we end up, y'all. Part 2, they're going to finish the conversation /fight next week. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.